What's going on, everyone?
Good.
We are
What up, what up,
live.
what up? If you guys can hear us, go ahead and comment right now. Let us know you can hear us. Today's presentation, today's live call, we're going to be going over sales, psychology, marketing, the psychological biases that make customers buy things. So the cool thing about today's presentation is it doesn't matter if you do Amazon drop shipping, if you do real estate, if you do Shopify, any of the things that we talked about in the last few live calls. What you learn in today's presentation is going to help you in every single industry, whether it's building your personal brand, whether it's face-to-face sales over the phone. It's going to help you, advance your sales, get more, sales, drive more revenue to your business. Doesn't matter what you do. Today's going to help you. And who better to learn that from than, Jeff and myself. Obviously, we use these same skills inside of our business, inside of our personal brands. And even some of these same skills are some of the, is the reason why a lot of you guys are even watching this today. So we're going to be going into those. We have a whole little presentation that we built. We're going to be looking off of it today as a reference and then, really explain it to you guys. And we'll even kind of dive into some of your guys' businesses, ask you some questions to try to give you guys examples that you can visualize in your head while we talk about these skills.
So I think we should start the call off going over, something I want you guys to remember for the next, 7-10 days. Just think about it a couple times a day. And it's that, no matter where you're in, no matter where you're at in your life right now, I think, all of your guys' money problems are not actually money problems. And as soon as you guys can understand that and understand you actually have intelligence problems, I'm not saying you guys are stupid, but you have knowledge problems. For example, a lot of the people think, oh, if I had 10 grand right now, I could change my life. If I had, 5 grand to get out of my debt, I could change my life. And in reality, if you even had that money, you don't have the knowledge to fix those problems. So I just want you guys to, really, really remember that, because the reason I'm saying that is you guys can't just expect, hey, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to make all this money, and it's going to make me successful. Or, I have $10,000 credit card debt, I need to make $10,000 and then I'll be out of debt. It's really about you guys becoming knowledgeable enough and resourceful enough and learning how to problem solve and actually do things correctly. So, if you guys have a problem in your life right now that you have, you want to know, I need 5 grand to start this business, or I need to do this, or whatever it is, just realize you guys actually don't have money problems. You guys have knowledge problems. And as soon as you guys can learn how to, solve these type of problems, for example, if I have, $5,000, let's say I need $5,000 today, to be able to do something that I think is going to completely change my life. I'm not going to let the fact that I can't make $5,000 today stop me, if that makes sense. So knowing that is something I just want you guys to realize. It's never going to be money problems. It's always going to be knowledge problems, which is why you guys are here tuning in on this call tonight. You guys are, it's not going to work.
No?
Nope. My texts are 3 months behind on that computer. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just the same thing, people DM me all the time on Instagram, hey, can you, do this? Can you send me money? I don't want to work for it. And when I read those messages, it's just exactly what Caleb said. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for the day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So teaching you guys that, number one, you don't have money problems. It's not that you're not 6-figure earners yet. It's that you don't know how to make 6 figures yet. And as soon as you guys go from that mentality to a learning, knowledge-based mentality, things will scale much, much, much faster. So I'm stoked to be here with you guys. Let me know where you guys are all tuning in from and what time it is for you guys. It's 7:18 p.m. for us. And, we just got out the gym. We had a bunch of meetings today. It was good stuff. But I want to know where you guys are tuning in from, what time it is, and, what you guys... I actually want to hear a little feedback from all of you guys that are on this call. I think there's about 100 people. And I want to know... one thing you guys have felt, if this is your first live call to the Inner Circle, welcome. I'm glad you guys are live with us. If not, if you guys have been in here for a minute, I want to know something that the Inner Circle's helped change for you, because that is something that we could take some constructive feedback. You're saying, hey, I'm killing it on Amazon now, or, I started doing real estate. I got my first deal. I want to know something that has actually benefited you big time from the Inner Circle, or one thing you've taken and just applied it to different businesses. We have a bunch of successful business owners in here who literally came in here, they're doing 6 figures or whatever, and now they're making $30,000, $40,000 a month instead of 10, 8. So that's cool. All right. Before we get into this, Yeah, please. Yeah. So I had I think there was like 30 of you guys that got into Tommy's workshop, and I know you guys, absolutely. I know he packed it out with value. I know he's a total beast. I've had a couple messages from you guys saying, Conrad's really helped you guys with Facebook ads, and I've been getting tagged in a lot of posts from people saying, my Facebook ads, I'm making $300-$400 in sales a day now because of that, and I was making none. So that's super, super dope. Let's see. LA event changed everything for me, bro. Awesome. We're going to be giving the Miami event details tonight. I made $400 on Shopify today. Awesome. Just got my Facebook ads account banned today. Okay. I think one of the students in here knows of a workaround for you. So if he's watching, cool. These videos allowed me to have a change of view on money, and I began getting results through eBay dropshipping, wholesaling. Learn to stay patient and focus on one thing for the long term. Amen to that. I'm feeling more confident about getting into dropshipping since I haven't done it before. At the same time, you don't really, my advice to you is you don't really need to feel more confident. You don't really need to be confident about starting a new business. Why I say that is because skills are something, right? Skills are something that you guys have to develop. It's not something you guys are just going to be good at when you start. Nobody's going to start a Shopify store that has no experience and push it to 6 figures consistently. It's just not real. So, don't wait for that, sense of security before starting a business. Go for it, jump into it, fail. And that's awesome. Inner Circle mainly changed my mindset. That should be a big one. We focus on that here. My mindset changed from mad down and now I'm up. Good. I want specifics though. Don't just tell me that. Made 1K profit from Amazon yesterday. That is insane. Absolutely insane, guys. Made 2K in 5 days after Tommy's Amazon dropshipping program. Cool. Learned how to use my credit. That's awesome. First day on Amazon, did 400 in sales. 75-day blitz. Cool. All right. So since day one, you and Josh were preaching mindset. Yeah, I mean, mindset's going to be a huge part of you guys leveling up your lives. Why I say that is because can someone take the dog to another room? These clouds are annoying. Yeah, for sure. Cleaner direction, a plan. I know you guys, I think most of the people in, the inner circle, the dropshipping, the dropout degree, most of you guys do really want nice stuff in life. A lot of you guys want nice cars, and a lot of you guys want to live the life that, Josh and I market and all these people in marketing. And that should be a goal for sure. But I want you guys to realize, there's more to this journey than just making money. All right. What you guys are here learning is you guys are learning how to, literally feed your entire family for the rest of your life. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that in a very physical way. I'm meaning it in that saying, you guys are here learning how to fish for the rest of your life. And what that allow you to do is it's not just about driving Lamborghinis. It's about the fact that when you're 80, your whole family is going to be taken care of because the decisions you made today, the decisions that, are catapulting you towards a whole new direction. So, yeah. All right, let's get into this, Josh.
All right, cool. So we'll go ahead and get this thing rolling. So first thing is I want to get a little feel for you guys. What businesses are you currently doing and how are you making sales? Give me details. Don't just say like Amazon or something like that. Give me details. So for example, if you're doing door-to-door sales, but I'm doing door-to-door sales and I work on my sales skills by doing this. If you're doing, network marketing, I'm doing network marketing and, I'm trying to, do this. Like, give me some details. I'm doing, Shopify and I'm working on my branding to, grab more attention by using this. Because we're going to give you guys, quite a few biases. There's a lot of different psychological biases and triggers and things that get people to actually buy your stuff. So this is why I said everything that you learn today is universal, and not even when it just comes to sales, but even when it just comes to like normal life. I use a lot of these things that I'm going to teach you guys today to win conversations. To if I want to go talk to a girl to get her to like me more, if I want to go impress somebody that could potentially be a business partner while I'm networking. I use a lot of these things just because It's kind of like if any of you guys read the book, How to Win and Influence Friends. These are kind of that same thing. It helps influence people, right? So I'm not going to be going over how to win and influence friends, like none of that stuff. But these same things are things that, you know, allow you to do that and not just influence friends, but influence customers and potential prospects. So let me read some of these comments real quick. Okay, I see what you guys are doing, but give me some details. One sentence is not gonna do it. It's gonna be 2 or 3 sentences. You know, I'm working on my copyright. I'm, you know, doing email marketing, and I'm nurturing my audience, and then I'm, you know, coming in with a sell. I need you guys to give me a little bit of details, because throughout this live feed too, we're gonna be pretty much, you know, picking a few of you guys, asking, you know, maybe certain struggles or certain things in your business, what you're currently doing, and kind of attacking that and showing you how you can, you know, move forward with a better strategy. That's what I'm really looking for.
You gotta give it a second. It's delayed.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So actually, the first one I want to dive into, and we have these notes, but we'll just kind of bounce around. And by the way, I hope you guys are taking notes as well. Let me know below. Say I'm taking notes if you are taking notes. Because if you don't take notes and you don't look back at the stuff we talked about today, it's just going to fly right over your head. It's really important that you guys actually absorb this information so you can consciously use it. So if you're taking notes, let me know. If you're not taking notes, go run and get, you know, a piece of paper or open up a different tab so you can take notes real quick. All right, cool. All right, so the first comment that I want to highlight, man, I took some protein. I feel like it might have been pre-workout, though. I'm getting all itchy. So the first comment that I want to highlight is Michael Nunez. He says, Audi car sales. He's working on personal branding to show people how I overcome student loan debt or just debt overall. So what that is actually going to take us into, let me pull it up, is, where is he? Okay, so when it comes to these biases, when it comes to selling people, when it, you know, like I said, you're a car salesman. When it comes to building a brand, when it comes to selling things, and again, take everything that we talk about today. I want you guys, when you're done taking notes on that specific thing, I want you guys to write down how you think you can apply that into your life, your business, or something. Because if you don't know exactly how you're gonna apply it, then you're gonna be kind of lost. You learn the skill, but if you don't know how and where you're gonna apply it, then it's gonna be kind of pointless. We'll probably have you guys comment some of the things as well. So one of the biases is called the liking bias. So liking, L-I-K-I-N-G, liking, like when you like somebody or, you know, I like you, etc. It's called the liking bias. The thing about the liking bias, when you're trying to sell somebody, when you're trying to convince somebody to buy your product, you're a lot more likely to sell them if they like you. It doesn't matter how good your product is. It doesn't matter how good your service is. You know, you can even have a, you know, inferior product, inferior service to your competition. And you can even be charging a higher price than your competition is, even though your shit sucks compared to theirs. But if your potential customer, your prospect, likes you a lot more, you're gonna make a lot of sales. So here's a couple examples. For example, you see Nike. You look at a big company like Nike, right? They kind of mix a few of the biases together. So one of the biases is authority, and they mix that with liking. So the reason you see LeBron James, the reason you see Kobe Bryant, Tiger Woods, you know, all these big guys, you know, promoting that certain brand is because their fan base likes that person. So they're a lot more likely to buy something from somebody they like than compared to just Nike by itself. One of the other things we have is, you know, with likability is relatability, right? How can somebody relate to you? How can somebody, you know, for example, a lot of you guys, you might be inside the inner circle, but you might have seen other people talk about other things, other, you know, people in this, you know, space of education and, you know, personal development and building a business, you know, self-made, right? You might see other people who are selling things, but you are, you know, you have more relatable points with, you know, me or with Jeff or with Nick or, you know, however you guys start with the inner circle than you have with these other people. So you're more likely to buy in. You're more likely to invest in yourself. You're more likely to get involved with our community, you know, rather than somebody else's community. Because maybe you don't relate to, you know, 45-year-old, you know, person that started a fitness business and, you know, now is like an online guru. Or maybe you don't relate to somebody who, you know, had a $3 million business handed to them that they grew and, you know, has this crazy social media presence, but, you know, didn't build any of that on his own. Right? But you can relate to somebody like me and Jeff because we started, you know, with nothing. We built our own business, and we're at a young age. We've seen success, pretty quickly. We built a personal brand by ourselves, right? Without millions and millions and millions of dollars being invested into us by outside sources, and we're still able to become successful. So the likable factor is that when it comes to likability, you're gonna make more sales. So the reason I wanted to highlight Michael Nunez's comment is because he says he's an Audi car salesman. He's working on personal branding to show people how he overcame student loan or debt, right? So let's look at this, Michael. If you're trying to build a personal brand, some people, they like to hide their flaws, right? They like to hide their flaws. They try to sell the dream on social media. They try to sell the dream to people, and they try to act a lot better than they actually are. But Michael right here, he's trying to show people his actual journey. He's trying to show people what he actually did. And, it might not seem as, heroic or amazing or, special, but what it does show is relatability, because most people have student loan. Most people have student debt. So one of the things that I want a lot of you guys to do right now is try to implement relatability or other things to make people like your brand. So now that you guys kind of have the gist of what I'm talking about when it comes to being likable, I want you guys to comment some examples real quick that you think likability can be implemented into your business, and then we'll go ahead and elaborate on that. Let's see. I want you guys to comment that right now. I know there's a little bit of a delay, but when it comes to the liking bias, when it comes to being relatable, think of examples of how you can make people like you, like your business, like your product, like something, right? Like I said, it could be celebrities endorsing your products. It could be somebody they trust. Referring them. That's the likability bias. It can be them relating with your story. So it just depends. Like, for example, mine and Jeff have very different stories. So we, might have, hit different touch points and different pain points to different people. So my story is I come from a background that, does pretty well, middle class, middle upper class. Parents pushed school on me very, very hard. And, I had somebody says, what are your grades? In high school, I had 3.5 and above. College, I had a 1.1, right? Just because I wasn't focused on college, I was focused on building a business. But I kind of already, knew that I was going to have to do something that was going to make good money, right? So I was going to school to be a doctor. Jeff, on the other hand, didn't have his parents around as much. You could elaborate on your story more than I can.
Yeah, my story is just like one of those stories that, sound horrible, but when that's all you know, it's all you know. So, for me, I didn't, my parents were split up. My dad is in the show business industry. So when he goes and he had to work on a movie, he'd be gone about 9 months out of the year. And so from like 1st to 9th grade, I would live with like another family or a nanny 9 months out of the year. So I convinced him to move to San Diego one time, and then, he went away for a movie. We lived in San Diego for like 3 months, and while he was gone, his girlfriend kicked me out of the house, and I lived with my sister until I was 16, and then I moved out. I got D's and F's in all of school. That's my story. So the reason that's powerful, though, is because, for example, some people, most entrepreneurs, right? This is the issue that a lot of people do is they over-exaggerate their stories. So most entrepreneurs will be like, oh, homeless, broke, now I'm a millionaire. That's most people's stories. And so when they're building a personal brand or they're using, their image to grow a following, generally it's over-exaggerated. So that's why I don't really talk about my story too much. I don't really need to have people be like, damn, that kid came from nothing. Like, enough of what I am now speaks for itself where I don't need to tell that story. But, for example, a lot of people that are successful entrepreneurs that are in this, like, these spaces where they build personal brands, they're not honest. And, that's why people will relate to Josh. Solid family life. Parents supported him. They wanted him to go to college and get good grades and do all this. And his parents weren't rich, but they had food all the time. It was a solid family. It was a very, very solid family. So people can relate to that because that's the majority of people. Most people don't have this homeless story, and that's just the truth. So,
right. So, one of the other examples that I want to give you guys too. So let's say you have a store, you have a product, whatever it is. One of the things that would make people like you is your about us page, your about me page. So let's say you have a Shopify store, or let's say you have an Amazon store. I'm not too familiar, but the bottom where it shows like the actual seller and or the product description or etc. If you talk about the purpose of the store, or this is why you see people. A good example is Sunny Co clothing, Sunny Co bathing suits, whatever it is. If you guys are familiar with them, about a year ago they had a picture go viral of a red bathing suit. They had like 800,000 followers overnight. So the reason why they went viral was because one of the reasons why was because of that likability bias. So for example, their bio and their website said, hey, we're two college frat guys that are trying to make money to help pay for our college and help with our family. So we started this swimsuit brand in the hope of sharing, or not sharing this message, but in hopes of being able to do that and give good quality bathing suits. And then as well, they said also, this is, I don't remember what charity it was, but this charity is really close to my heart because of X, Y, and Z of my personal experience. So 10% of proceeds will be donated to the charity. So if you bought, for every purchase that is bought, 10% of these proceeds are going to be going there. So when people see that, right, and someone said they did a massive giveaway. Yes, they did a massive giveaway, exactly, which is why they went viral overnight. So when people see that, one, it's two honest guys that want to provide a valuable product, a high quality product, and they have a exterior motive behind it, wanting to help donate to charity, right, and wanting to help their families and their personal college expenses. People are like, hey, I like that guy. He kind of sounds a little bit like me, or that's something I would do, or hey, it's going towards a good cause. So that allowed it to blow up. The second part that made that go so viral, that made it likable, was that if you guys can anybody recall? Does anybody know what I'm talking about, by the way? The Sunny Co clothing viral red bathing suit. It was a girl sitting by a pool in a red bathing suit. If you do, just comment yes. If you don't, just say not sure. But another thing that made that post blow up and do so well was that the girl was just a normal looking girl, right? Looked like the typical American girl. I think she had like brunette hair. She didn't have any crazy body or any fake work done. You couldn't see her face, so people can't relate to her face. Her skin tone was like kind of like a golden tone, so it could be perceived as Hispanic. It could be perceived as a white person. It could be perceived as a light skinned person. So it's very, very relatable. It looked like most people. So most people see that and they like that image because of how it makes them feel. So if you guys are not familiar with it, it went crazy, crazy viral. Pretty much the story is this page with like 5,000 followers made an Instagram post saying, hey, we're giving away free bathing suits. All you have to do is repost this picture and tag us and use our hashtag. And somehow within 24 hours, everybody on Instagram was posting this picture. I've seen it on my newsfeed like 100 times. And the page went from 5,000 followers to almost 1 million followers in one day. And it was just a Shopify dropshipping store. It wasn't even their own brand. It was literally they were dropshipping red bathing suits from AliExpress. Almost 1 million followers in 24 hours. I don't think any Instagram page has ever grown that fast unless it's like a celebrity. And this was a store. So then after about 24 hours, they launched the product. They gave away a free plus shipping discount code. And they pretty much probably did like 50,000 to 100,000 of volume. And then the store shut down because Alibaba went out of stock for that product. It just went crazy, crazy viral. And now they're actually like a very well-known big brand. And they're selling swimsuits all year round. But it's because of that. And I don't think they even planned it. I really think it was just, coincidental. But because of that, coincidental plan of that likability factor and bias being so hard and so relatable, you can't not like that. You can't hate on somebody that's trying to donate to charity. You can't hate on two college kids that are trying to make a living. And, you can't hate on somebody that is just a natural girl, looks like everybody else in the world, right? Or not everybody else in the world, but everybody else that's, at least in America. So it just went crazy viral. So how you can use this in your day-to-day networking is, for example, I'm going to go, let's say I'm a salesperson, right? And a lot of salespeople do this. I'm giving you guys an example. This doesn't relate to me at all. Use it how you want to use it. Obviously, some people can manipulate these biases. That's completely on you. I want you guys to use this for a greater purpose, right, to make money. But you might have noticed, for example, if you go and you're talking to a salesperson over the phone or somebody is trying to sell you something, somebody might be like, you might be like, hey, where you from? Oh, man, I'm actually from Ohio. Oh, no way. My sister actually lives there. And you're like, oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, man, she loves Ohio. How do you like it? Oh, I love it, man. It's, it's this, that. Yeah, my sister said the same thing, man. You know, like, oh, cool. You know, right? Or, you know, what's another example? You know, hey, man, you know, what's your favorite car? I like the Lamborghini. Dude, that's my favorite car, too. I've been wanting one ever since I was a kid. So right there, when you're networking or somebody's trying to sell you, it's an instant connection, and they like you more. So fast forward 20 minutes later, 5 minutes later, an hour later, months later, whenever it is, when that person wants to sell you something, you're a lot more likely to buy something from them just because you like them, right? And you can relate to them compared to if somebody's just like, hey man, I have a solid product, I have a solid service, I have this, that. This is why you should buy it. It makes sense. And there's no reason you should not buy it. So so now that you guys have an understanding of that, and thank you, Miguel, I believe, right, for letting me, for that example, comment right now, how do you think you can use this in your current business? Is it putting an about me page on Shopify? Is it relating with people and B2C sales? How do you think you can use this in your current business? Is it networking with people and building relationships so they like you more and you can pitch them on your service right away? Comment right now. Give details. I don't want to see any one sentence 5-letter long thing. Or my bad, 5-word long thing. Give me some actual details. I want you guys to do it. And then I also want you guys to put that in your notes right now too. And if you have any other questions about this, want me to elaborate on this bias or just to elaborate, ask it right now. Don't just comment networking, relating with people, and building my brand. Give me some details on why you're doing that. Why is it going to give you value? So about me on my Shopify and on ads. What are you going to do that is going to show that value? How are you going to relate to people? How are you going to make people like you? Don't just say where you're going to use it. Say how you're going to do it. This is important.
And so for a lot of you guys that are doing, like, let's say, Amazon dropshipping or eBay dropshipping, those are the few business models where that we've gone over. You guys got to realize that these skills and understanding things like this is going to apply to you in the long run. Like learning what sells people and learning how to sell people is important. I'm not saying you guys need to go into car sales. I'm not saying you guys need to go sell people. But as you climb the financial hierarchy ladder, right, you start leveling up, you start networking with millionaires, you start doing business with other millionaires. And this is a point I want you all to get to, is you realize you guys are going to have to eventually learn how to sell yourself, right? You guys got to learn how to sell yourself. Why is that important, right? Because in business, right, and especially networking, is if you guys want these people to respect you, you can't tell them to respect you, right? This is the biggest thing I find with people that fail at networking. People will message me and say, hey, Jeff, I have a $300,000 a month Shopify store, and I really want to partner with you. I've done so much. I'm killing it, blah, 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 blah. And I read that, and I'm saying, why do people feel there's an insecurity in people when they reach out to people on another level, right? And what it is when these people reach out to me like that, I see that they're compensating. What I mean by that is they're compensating for the fact that they don't think who they are speaks loud enough, so they need to tell me who they are. Learning how to sell yourself, right? Learning how to sell it in the sense of, Josh brought up that thing. When you have a charity vibe, or, you have some physical proof of something, you really don't need to talk about it. So what I'm saying is, they started that swimsuit thing. I don't really know the details. If they're donating to charity or whatever the percentage of it was, when people saw the results of that, I guarantee they were able to network up that ladder from that one product launch they did. And I don't think it's even a big company now, or they're even doing that well. But they were able to network up that ladder because of what they did. So I want you guys to realize that, everything you guys are learning about sales today is going to apply in the sense of you have to know what sells people. When you know what sells people, you can sell yourself without selling. So you make your life look attractive in that sense. So when people go to my Instagram, they can, someone that, let's say some kid that's 21, college or 22, college graduate, working a decent job, he sees my page and I could sell him on myself without me talking. And I'm not talking just social media though, because you want, as you guys start networking and you start doing these different things, that you want the people that you network with to respect you for not you telling them to respect you. So when you do that, and then people introduce you to people, they automatically edify you. So, for example, if Josh wanted me to meet someone, he'd be like, yo, my business partner's an absolute beast. He's made multiple 7 figures. Like, he's a really, really dope guy.
Let them know,
I'm already edified,
Okay, let me let them know what edify means. Real quick, guys. So if you're not familiar with the what edification means, edify, it's I think the actual dictionary definition is like the art of uplifting others. So it's really, really important if you ever introduce anybody to edify them first, because otherwise you're just, the other person doesn't know who they're talking to, and that, when somebody's edified, the other person is going to have a higher level of respect and attention to be attentive to the conversation for whatever reasons.
So understand this, when Josh is going over these, you're looking at it, and about me is not going to increase your sales through ratio. That is one thing that might hit one of their biases, right? When someone's going to your page, they want to buy something. That is one bias that you might be able to clear because of your about me or because of the way you do this or whatever it is. You guys are going to have to realize that to really, really increase conversions on anything you're doing, whether that's networking with more people in your life, whether that's making more Shopify sales, whatever it is, a lot of things need to go into that. For example, attractive marketing, attractive product pictures, a solid story. Stories definitely sell. And, you can look at a bunch of companies out there, and they all have very, very impressive stories. And when you look at the people that started these companies, Bill Gates built, Microsoft in a garage. You have respect for that company, and that's just one thing that makes people appreciate it. And then you have good products, right? All of these things are going to go into making sales. But for the people that are not doing something where you're not a salesperson or you're not doing Shopify, for example, if you're doing Amazon or eBay, these are skills that you need to know and need to master, right? Because the biggest thing is you have to know how to sell your business and yourself without selling. That's going to be the highest level of sales, is when I can sell you on myself and my businesses and my products without me selling you. Because then I know I've built the systems and I've hit most of the majority of the population's biases. For example, I don't like sales. I actually don't like selling anything. But, right, the thing is I've built my life around the fact that I don't need to sell, because I sell who I am and I don't tell people who I am.
Right. So another thing you guys can do that's going to help contribute to this, likability bias is highlighting your flaws. So what I wrote right here, it says it's no secret that consumers tend to doubt marketing claims, which obviously for good reasons. Some people make, they over-promise and under-deliver. They're just not, they're simply not credible. So one way to raise credibility is to point out your product or your own, personal shortcomings. So for example, let's say you do drop shipping, right? You're using Shopify, and your product's coming from AliExpress, right? So they take 2 weeks, 3 weeks to deliver. So instead of saying, buy now, quick delivery, get it fast, or, blah, 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 just use a little wordplay to highlight your flaws. So for example, all of our products are custom made to order or custom handmade to order, or we don't let products just sit around on shelves. They're created as you buy them. So because of this, it may take a little bit longer for you to get your product. Please allow up to 2 weeks of shipping time. But because of this, we're gonna throw in a free boom. Or because of this, we're gonna, a free guide on how to use the product. Or, let's say you're selling a workout plan, right? Or not workout plan. Let's say you're selling out like workout equipment. Because we don't, create the products until you buy it, please allow 2 weeks for your product to get delivered. Because of this, we want you guys to, still have something to do in the meantime. So we're gonna give you a free workout plan. We're gonna give you a free diet plan. We're gonna give you a free, X, Y, and Z, right? So highlight your flaws, but then back it with something that is also a, something that's good, right? Something that's positive. So for example, if it's you personally, let's say you run a social media, marketing agency, right? And the person's, is asking, they're trying to pre-qualify you. They're asking you all these, questions to try to stump you. You know everything about social media. You know everything about branding. You know everything about, how you can help their business. But you're not an expert in Facebook ads. But you have a friend that is, right? So they're trying to ask you all these questions about Facebook ads all of a sudden, trying to stump you and see if you really know your stuff. You're just like, hey, so instead of being like, yeah, man, I got you. Your Facebook ads are going to be this, or, your Facebook ads are going to be that. I'm going to set you up. You're going to make so much money. Like, hey, dude, to be honest with you, I really don't know anything about Facebook ads. It's not my expertise. I haven't done it myself, and I'm not too familiar with it. And I'm gonna just be honest with you because I don't want to, tell you something right now and and over deliver and not be able to do what you can say. But the guy who does work with me, the guy who does run the Facebook, ads, he's a beast. And I can get you on a call with him. I can get you if you have more questions, and you can talk to him personally, and he's gonna help you out. But I know you want to talk about Facebook ads right now. And like I said, I don't, there's not much I can really tell you. But what I can tell you is that if we do this on your YouTube for your social media, or if we do this for your Instagram on your social media, I can get these results, these results, these results, these results. So I highlighted my flaws instead of trying to, show that I know everything. I'm a Mr. Know-It-All. And by doing that, I'm building trust, which is making this person like me a lot more. You can think of any other examples like highlighting flaws?
Well, I think the one thing that you're touching on right now, and I don't think you emphasized, and I want everyone here on these calls, all the Inner Circle members to understand, is that one sales tactic that is probably the most powerful ever is honesty. And that's what Josh was getting at. Is sometimes, people overcompensate. For example, if you're doing Shopify and you say your shipping times are so good, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes, and actually the majority of the time, you will have better results being honest. For example, if I'm like, yo, dude, you're not gonna, when I bring in people to the Inner Circle, I'm like, yo, you're not gonna get the franchised blueprint on how to exactly build a 7-figure business by joining this program. I'm like, it's just not gonna happen. I'm like, what this program is designed to do is to put you around everyone. It's not gonna, you're not gonna become an overnight success overnight. Most people show all these testimonials when they release courses, and they do all of these things that make everything look really good, and they never say the downside. They never say, hey, you were gonna fail for the first 6 months. Most of these people never do. And look at a car salesman, right? You go into a car dealership, and you're like, yeah, I'm thinking about that Mercedes. But it's, let's say, a used luxury car dealership. I'm thinking about that Mercedes, but I also kind of want a Range Rover and this, that, the other. For some reason, people think they need to overcompensate everything when it comes to sales. So someone will go, you'll be like, I'm thinking about the Mercedes, and I'm also thinking about that Range over there. And instead of them being honest and saying, here's my advice. You're trying to buy a car from me. I don't want problems. I want you to have the best experience ever. I want you to come back, right? I wouldn't buy that Range Rover because, it's probably at the point where it might have issues, and, I'd just rather you not have that. But the Mercedes is in unbelievably perfect condition. Like, I can vouch for that. And people know these things. You go to a car dealership, they know that there's certain cars, like if you go to a Toyota dealership, there's certain cars that have issues. The people that work there know this. They don't tell you, though. They're never honest. And that's the issue when I have with salespeople. So if you want to be a really good salesman, being honest is actually a pretty solid technique. Being real and being who you are is a real technique. So, in your about me, don't go copy someone's about me for your store and be like, I'm a kid trying to, grind. Dude, if you're 16, put in your Shopify bio, my name is, Jason, I'm 16 years old. My parents have struggled, and, I'm building the Shopify store to really level up. I've had the blessing of finding so many products at such great prices. You don't always have to pretend to be a big company either, So you don't have to be like, oh, we're Great Deals Inc., and we find great deals for you. It's not real. It's not honest. What's honest is being like, yo, I'm Jason. I'm a 16-year-old, and I've had some luck finding some really great products on the internet, and I thought I could bring them to the marketplace because, they're just amazing products. And, if you look at the shipping time, I can't get them that fast because they're very, they're overseas, and I don't have the entire money to buy it. You could just be honest, and you would make 10 times more sales. This is something that most people just totally forget. So as you guys are growing your social media, be honest, right? As you guys are, selling yourself at a job interview, be honest. As you guys are networking, just be honest with who you are. Don't oversell yourself. Don't overcompensate because it shows. You really see through it. And when people are trying to buy from you, they see through it. They're not stupid. People are not stupid.
One of the biggest things, too, when it comes to being honest, when it comes to doing what Jeff just talked about, is also make sure you edify yourself, though, as well. So when, obviously Jeff is, we were just talking.
Well, but what I'm saying is, you don't have to overly edify yourself.
No, yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, the way you word things, keep it professional, though. You don't have, don't be like, hey, I'm just a 16-year-old kid, trying to make a quick buck, but be like, write in, it could be third-person point of view, or it could be you want to sound professional, right? So, hey, I am, I went to school, I've done this, blah, blah, blah. And I decided I wanted to start, an e-commerce business, and I wanted to bring value to the marketplace. So I went out, you want your story to sound good. Don't like for example, you can say the same thing with 3 sentences that it doesn't paint a picture in somebody's head. And then you could paint, say the exact same thing with 10 sentences, but it paints a picture in somebody's head and they visualize exactly what you're saying. So for example, I wanted to, I want to write something, so I just got this pen. Versus, I wanted to talk about, marketing. I wanted to talk about psychology. I wanted to, educate the people on this Inner Circle live call about, X, Y, and Z. So what I did was I made sure I actually game planned in advance. I actually, put together a system. I put together a structure of everything I wanted to talk about on this live call, so people can use these skills to actually, advance their business,
and execute with their business.
What? So I got, that's what I'm saying. It could be a lot longer. So, I
wanted to write something, so I got the pen.
Yeah, I'm saying, so that's the first version. I'm saying the second version is, so I wanted to come up with an actual game plan. So what I actually did, instead of just rambling off the top of my head, was actually, I bought a notebook, I bought, one of the, a solid pen, blah, 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 blah. And I, game planned and wrote down everything that I needed to talk about to inform everybody on this Inner Circle call. So I turned, one little sentence into an entire story that gave it purpose, and that gave it a vision for people to visualize exactly what I'm talking about, and know why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, sales is really just gonna come down to like just storytelling and being honest. Everyone just tries to hype themselves up. Everyone tries to edify too much, and I think if you don't, you have a lot more success. If you just like let who you are come out in your marketing too. So like if you guys are doing sales, like let who you are come out. This is why my buddy Peter's so successful at car sales. Like he doesn't tell me every car is good. He doesn't tell me every car there is a good deal. He doesn't do that. He's like, yeah, dude, I'll stay away from that one, dude. Like I think that car is going to be the best because you're going to have the warranty for this long, and that car is about to run out of warranty, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So just being real and being honest is just going to get you really far. And I'm not saying don't sell yourself, but don't oversell anything.
Right.
That's the truth. Don't say people are going to, this pair of underwear is going to change your life. Like if you're selling underwear on Shopify, like I wouldn't do that. But I would say, this is probably one of the more comfortable pairs. But yeah. All right.
So somebody commented right now, sell me this pen. So that'll lead us into our next point when it comes to sales and when it comes to marketing and psychology is, if you guys who watched Wolf of Wall Street and saw that scene that says, sell me this plan, comment yes or comment no if you've never seen Wolf of Wall Street. And if you haven't, watched it, you should actually go watch it tonight or sometime this week because it's a crazy, crazy, phenomenal movie that a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in the sales space, love. It's a great movie. So comment yes or no if you've seen it or not. Okay, cool. So it looks like a lot of people seen it. So if you guys remember that scene where he says, sell me this pen, most of the people he, denied or whatever that said no was because they were like, hey, this is a great pen. The ink is good, whatever they said, right? They're giving a very logical point, right? The thing with sales is logic is very important. It is very important because it needs to click in somebody's head. But you need to run emotional ideas. People, when it comes to sales, when it comes to psychology, and when it comes to marketing, you need to run emotional ideas, which means it still can be logical, but you need to tap into that emotional side of the brain, right? Studies have shown, so like I said, I jotted down some notes before. So studies have shown emotional and psychological appeals resonate more with consumers than feature and function appeals. So what does that mean? It means they're a lot more likely to remember something that hits them emotionally than something that just made sense. So in advertising copy, for example, if you talk about the psychological component, those, like if you were going to split test that versus, split testing, just the functional component, the psychological one wins like 9 out of 10 times in terms of generating sales. So for example, demonstrating how a new computer will improve a potential customer's, experience in their life tends to have more influence rather than explaining how it works. So a good example would be Apple. Right?
They do really good videos for that. So Apple makes you visualize having their products, and they don't do it. And you do it in a way where you're like, oh, it's cheesy, but I kind of like it. Like that's the truth. If you go look at their pre-launch videos or anything they release about a new product, it's always just like a very attractive marketing, like a very relatable vibe. They're just traveling the world with their iPhones and you don't notice it, but subliminally it makes you feel like, hey, I could do a lot with that product. And they never talk about, when they do launch the phone, they do their press conference where they talk about all the everything.
Even there, they still visualize it. So, for example, at their keynote, their press conference when they release a new product, they're not like, hey, the new iPhone has 10,000 megahertz battery, right? And just say that. They're like,
just says increased battery life, so
yeah,
you can do more things. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So the new iPhone has an increased battery life, almost double the amount of talk time than the last iPhone. So you can be on the phone, talking for an extra 7 hours. The new iPhone has a
and you just think back to how many times your phone died, and you're like, damn, I want that.
Exactly. So the new iPhone has a better camera, which means higher quality FaceTimes with your loved ones, and they're showing like videos of people talking to their loved ones, or people taking pictures of their babies, or people traveling and taking pictures while they're going out. So they're painting this picture in their head, but all these things they're talking about is tapping into the emotional side, which is why they do so well. Compared to, I mean, personally, I've never looked much into Android things, but when I have seen like Android commercials,
Android marketing is horrible.
Yeah, they go more into the technicalities of things, right? And the function, how functional it is compared to actually tapping into and painting that picture in somebody's head.
I've also never met an Android person that like goes to iPhone and then goes back to Android. That's like a very, very thing. So one thing you guys are missing, Edwin, is imagine the deal you could sign with this pen. It's the wrong way to look at marketing, right? The right way to look at marketing is to kind of like what Apple does. If you can showcase something that they could do with the pen that they want to do, they'll buy it. They won't question it because they feel like they need it. If you just say, oh, if you're trying to sell a pen and you're like, all right, I want you, imagine you could be signing a $100,000 deal with this pen. It'll never work. People are going to be like, I don't want that fucking pen. I can sign with any pen. The thing is if you make someone feel like they need that to accomplish something else, for example, exactly what Apple did, to accomplish with having your phone die less, you could upgrade to the new iPhone. They're not forcing it on you. They're not saying, hey, it's so much better than our last phone. Like, oh my God, no, it's literally like, hey, 7 hours increased battery time from the iPhone 12 or whatever it's going to be down the road. You have to understand that they need to feel like they want that, and then the cost becomes irrelevant. If I felt like I bought this one product, right? Just the marketing they did made me feel like if I get that one product for $3,000, it'll help me make my marketing better, and then my marketing will be better, and I can make more money, right? I will not question buying the camera, but if I just see the camera, I'm not going to be like, fuck, I want to buy that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about the exact feeling of you needing that to improve something. So, if you're...
You gave a pretty good example that I was about to touch on right now. You worded it a bit better.
What?
So, like, for example...
Yep.
Yeah. So, for example, like, let's say this pen has, like, double or triple, quadruple, or unlimited ink, and theoretically had unlimited ink. And like, hey...
I'm not sure I'd go the ink route with a pen. I don't know how often pens die.
Yeah, but I've had quite a few, actually, in school. All die and have to throw them out, like, cheap pens. But, for example, like, let's say, for example, here's a better idea. Those pens that have multiple colors. Let's take that as an example. For example, you have to, let's say you are doing business or doing this, or, you want to highlight something, and you got to carry 4 or 5 pens with you to, use every color that you need to do. What if you just had one pen that had it all? Red, blue, green, black. So if you needed to, sign a deal, you can do it in black. If you need to do a business meeting, you can do it in blue. If you needed to highlight something that's an error, right? Your teacher, you need to highlight an error for one of your students' papers, all you do is switch to the red. This will, like, literally, 1, save you money. 2, it's a lot more portable. You just have one pen on you instead of carrying 4 to 5. And, 3, because of it, there's 4 different colors. This pen is, obviously can last 4 times longer than just one pen with one thing of ink, right? So now you're creating the problems inside of your customer's head, and you're letting them know that your product can solve it and fix it. That's huge. But you're doing it in an emotional way, not just, hey, this pen is obviously better because there's more colors and, there's one of them.
I mean, honestly, the worst part is when salespeople talk about selling pens, it's stupid because, like, no one's going to sell a pen.
Right.
The thing is like, when you look at marketing for products, like, generally they're either going to improve your life or make you more money, right? That's when people spend money. If something improves your life or makes you more money. We can look at anything from home improvement to business services to cars. They're either going to improve your life or make you more money. The thing is you really have to convince without selling it, without convincing it, that this thing will actually do it. So whatever you guys are going to sell in your life, people follow me because my page makes people feel like I can help them improve their life. So they're sold on me, and then they're already sold on my products. It's the same way as, Apple makes you feel like this new iPhone is going to, really improve your life. It's really going to. talk time, better camera. Oh, you know, Josh and I are we know we do a lot of Instagram marketing. So when we hear about a better camera, we're like, yo, we could take iPhone photos and they'd actually look decent. It's that type of thing that makes people purchase. And when people you have to literally create that improvement, whether it's financial, whether it's just casual improvement in someone's life. And yeah, so you don't need to actually create the problem. For example, people already knew that the iPhone's battery sucks, and they're not going to put the best battery on the market out there because then they don't know if the next one's going to come out by the next year. So when they look at that, they already know the problem's there. They solved it by increasing a little battery life, not by putting the best battery in there where you're going to be able to, you know, wirelessly charge anywhere from your house from your Wi-Fi. That technology exists. They're not going to put that in there because that's going to be the selling point of the $2,000 iPhone eventually, where you can charge it 24/7 as long as you're connected to Wi-Fi. That is something that's going to become a reality. But they're not going to do that now. And so if you look at that, they know the problem exists, and they're going to capitalize on that problem by making people feel like that. So while you guys are selling anything in your life, for example, if a car can improve someone's life, they don't have a car, it's going to be much easier for you to sell a car to them than someone that's like already has a car and it's fine. They walk in just to look at cars. Those are probably not going to be the best customers. Let's see, create a problem, sell a solution.
So
you don't need to create the problem. The problems are already out there. All the problems in the marketplace are already out there. For example, t-shirts. Still nobody's found a decent t-shirt that doesn't shrink after 50 washes. So if you had a t-shirt that, you know, you could say it doesn't shrink after 50 washes, right? And you did a correct marketing plan on it, everyone would buy it because they wouldn't have to buy new t-shirts all the time.
Right.
Problems are already out there. All of the problems are already out there. For example, you guys all wanted to learn how to make money. That's a problem. All of you guys learning, you want to learn how to, build a six-figure business. That's a problem. The problems all exist. You guys just got to start finding products that fix the solution a little bit. Doesn't need to solve it completely. That's what people miss. When it comes to sales, nothing needs to solve it completely. I know most of you guys want to be millionaires. When you got into this course, this is probably not going to make you guys directly a millionaire. That's not reality. And me being honest is selling you guys on this course even more. You guys are saying, hey, I'm in the inner circle. I'm probably not going to make $1 million from this $100. But what it's going to teach me to do is teach me how to take $100 and turn it into 10,000. Once I turn 10,000 into 100,000, I can start heading towards $1 million. When you're honest with people, which is exactly why there's so many people in the inner circle, right? And there's so many people, and there's so many success stories with Josh and I sales, is for those two things. Everyone has the problem. You sell a solution that fixes part of it. And there's no solution that's going to fix it like completely. Every phone's going to always die. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, that's what it is. So when you guys realize that honesty sells, right? Number one. And number two, you have to just sell the solution. It's not about anything. For example, most underwear is ugly. Well, most underwear is ugly, right? Like, I feel like most men's underwear is just very basic. So if someone came out with a cool design just on the waistband, the product would be like, damn, I hate that. Those underwear look dope. They could improve my life, right? I could like my underwear better. Right. And people would buy them. That's why underwear companies are doing well. And the comfortability. You guys just got to understand that, you guys can't just expect things to sell because you have the product. Like, people just miss it. They just miss that few things. So, go ahead, Josh.
So one of the things I saw somebody comment, Caleb Kennedy said, what about selling a painting? Right, a painting would be like a luxury item, something that somebody would buy with like disposable income. It's not necessarily a problem. Like, I don't have any paintings in my house. I need paintings. It's gonna improve my life. A lot of people don't feel that way. So when it comes to a luxury item, right, something that's not necessarily a necessity, or somebody just buys it just because they buy it, right?
Same reason. It's like a mega yacht.
Yeah, you just buy it because you have the money. Or a jewelry. You just buy it because you have the money. It's not really like a problem that you're trying to solve.
Well, so, now we get into the argument of your market. Right. So you guys aren't going to be able to sell $1 million painting you can't run Facebook ads for $1 million painting. It's not going to work. That you have to start working at your audience now. And so when it comes to a painting, you just have to market your painting more correctly. Like if you were to, for example, let's say you're selling paintings, right? Most paintings, if you're looking at a $100,000 painting, you go online, there's a picture of the painting. The thing they don't do is they don't allow you to take a photo of your room. And they don't have software on there that allows you to put that painting on the wall 3D and view it. Right. And when you see that, you say, damn, that room would look so much better with that painting. I'm going to buy it. But they just sell the painting. That's the issue. That's why you guys will not.
So they're not allowing people to visualize and run that emotional idea.
Well, it comes back to the fact that people buy when they're going to improve their life. For example, if someone really cares about how their house looks, that painting will improve the look of the room, and so they don't allow people to have that what is it called? It's before buyer's remorse. No, I don't know. They don't have people to have that compulsive decision, for example. Yeah, like, listen, if you want people... Oh, okay. If you allow people to have that compulsive decision, for example, if I saw a marketing product, right, the new iPhone, if the camera was so much better and I knew I do a lot of Instagram stuff, I'm going to compulsively buy it. I'm not going to think about the $900, right? I need to buy a new crate for my dog, and the one I want is $900. But $900 isn't that much money to me. But the charger's right here at my feet, Josh.
The second one?
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, okay.
But I don't feel like it's going to improve my life that much, right? I just want to buy him a new crate. I don't like the crate he's in. But spending $900, it's not enough of a reason just to buy it because he needs a new crate. I know he needs one eventually. I'll just wait till it breaks, and then I'm going to be like, okay, I need to get a new crate for him. When it comes to the iPhone, if I say, hey, damn, this iPhone's going to help me make more money because the battery lasts longer, I don't need to have 15 portables on me all day, and on top of it, it takes better photos, so I don't need a professional photographer all the time for my Instagram photos, so it's going to save me money, and it's going to help me make a lot more money on Instagram much easier, so the $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 for this damn iPhone, it's not even a cost in my mind. So when you guys look at, t-shirts, when you guys are looking at products that you're trying to sell, whether it's, a coconut opener or whatever it is, when you target the audience of people that drink coconuts, you make them say, damn, I hate opening these coconuts to drink the milk out of it or the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan my marketing strategy around how much easier it could be. If you guys are following this, you guys will understand that sales, the value never needs to exceed the cost. You guys have to understand this. That's actually not a real value. That's not a real thing. When it comes to sales, it's about, you can justify almost any amount of money that's in your reasonable spending limit. For example, like I can buy... Okay, here's the perfect example. I want a pendant, right? Josh has this little necklace. I don't think he has it on, and he spent like $10,000 or $15,000 on it. I want a pendant, but I don't see my life or my income or anything improving if I get that pendant. For example, some dudes buy jewelry to impress women, right? Or impress dudes. The watch for me, I said, hey, the thing is for me is, if I need to edify myself without saying who I am, and I want to show up to a business meeting where people don't really know who I am, I said, me buying a $100,000 watch, I want you guys to understand this. Me buying a $100,000 watch is me now driving my car into the meeting. People know. It's a statement. It edifies. So I said, this will edify me during business deals. It'll edify me when I do these things. It's an investment. But another chain or something like that, I don't see it improving myself that much, which is why I don't jump to spend the money. So when you guys when you guys really want to make money, right, there has to be that improvement factor. Once you have that improvement factor, it's really easy to justify the cost. For me to spend $100,000 on a watch, I was like, whatever, dude, I'm gonna do it. I'm justifying it because I see my life improving based on it. But a chain, I can't even justify spending, $5,000, $10,000 to make a little pendant because I know there's going to be no improvement from it and it's a waste of money. So if you guys understand that, you understand that there has to be that justification to buy it. There has to be a improvement basis on it. You guys will literally make 100% more sales. Like if you guys are only making $1,000 a month and you find a way to target someone based on that, it'll literally change everything. So once you understand that, it's really easy to make sales.
So one of the next things I want to jump into is, like, for example, Jeff's talking about this pendant, right? And adds absolutely no value, and he doesn't really necessarily see it, improving his life, but he still wants to buy it. So how do you guys sell things like that, right? These luxury items. How do you sell things like that? This is where it's your job as a marketer to change the perception of your prospect to turn them into a customer. Right? So it's your job as a marketer to change the perception of your prospect to convert them into a customer. So one of the things you can do is promote exclusivity, right? Exclusivity. So for example, let's say there is, Jeff wants to buy this pendant, right? So there's nobody can say, hey, if you buy this pendant, your life is going to change. If you buy this pendant, you're going to be so icy and all the girls are going to, run towards you and flock towards you and, blah, 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 blah. It's not reality. But let's take a step back. Let's, again, changing perception. So I talked about this on a past live call. I'm gonna let you guys, if any of you guys can comment. if you guys can remember, when there's a transaction made, what needs to take place between both parties? Why does it, when a sale is made, when there's a transaction, why is a sale being made? What is happening between the two parties that allows it to happen? If you guys seen it on the last call, please comment. It has to do something with value. So comment right now if you know what I'm talking about.
I'm really glad you brought this one up. This is a good thing. I'm hitting on, the last thing I just said is I was hitting on how to make money, right? By making people justify why they need something. So there's for example, when someone bought my dropshipping course, right? I'm being honest with you guys. I want you guys to know these things. Is when someone bought my dropshipping course, it was $2,000 when I launched it. I think a good 50% of the people that purchased it said, hey, this is going to change my life. I can justify paying $2,000.
Right.
The other half, I used exactly what you're doing, promoting. You already talked about it a little bit?
No, I haven't.
Okay, go ahead. Well, I'll just start it and you can dump into it. Is exclusivity. Exclusivity. What I'm saying is, so let's say the other 50% of people that didn't have that immediate justification, that didn't immediately say, hey, this could change my life, I'm just going to do it. They got sold by the fact that I only train a limited amount of people at certain times. Okay, I only trained, let's say I let 60 people in the training. It's a pretty much one-on-one group. You have your coaches, you have the people, you have the training, you have the group chat, and there's only a limited amount of spots. And sometimes it even went beyond that where I said there's only a limited amount of spots and I'm going to discount it this time when I open the course. Now you can take that to regular marketing where you're saying when someone goes to your page and you really want to sell, for example, on Shopify, you have a Prime product, right? Or let's say you're a car salesman or even a jeweler, right? Let's just say jeweler. And he knows Josh wants to buy another chain, for example. Right. This jeweler, Josh has hit him up. He said, I want this chain, blah, 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 blah. And the deal almost goes through, but Josh says, it's not worth the money right now. It's like, it's not going to improve me at all. The jeweler can come back and say, hey, I made this chain, and the one thing is I can give you an insane deal on this chain right now because this person ordered it, they put a deposit down, and I'm saying this is a way to do sales. I'm not saying this the exact way. It's a little schemy, and I'm not telling you guys to scheme people, but I'm saying, some guy put a deposit on this chain. It's very similar to the one you wanted, but it's $3,000 less than I quoted you. It's a one-time offer. Josh is going to be like, okay, well, I was planning on doing it for 10. I didn't really want to do it, but this is a one-time deal. I'm going to save $3,000. Let me pull the trigger.
Right.
So those are you guys have to understand that there's certain types of buyers, and this is exactly what we're trying to get into. You guys are watching this call right now and, saying, hey, I'm not in sales or whatever. This type of stuff is what makes you money. When we opened when I launched the Dropout degree at first, right? Let's just talk about when we brought the first set of members in.
Right.
For the first hour, we had like 50 people sign up. Then I said, you know what? Fuck that. I was like, I said to myself, I don't want there to be 10,000 members in this thing.
Right.
I said, we want this to be an exclusive program. So I put a number on it. Immediately after 200 people joined, 250 people joined. Like right when we put a number cap on it. And because of the fact that some people just can't pull the trigger unless they know for a fact it's a steal. Right. Which all of you guys are in here, and now you guys are in these calls and you see the value, but people that are on the outside can't see the value of these calls. They don't understand the fact that they're missing these key fundamentals. They don't understand that. So what you have to do is you have to get them into these programs. You have to sell them with exclusivity or value.
Right. So when you guys, use, exclusivity.
Like people are like, the number got me.
Exactly. But honestly, that's key because now you guys are learning how to use the exact same skills in your business, in your life. So when you guys, the whole point of exclusivity is to change the value perception. And by the way, Yip, you commented it right. When I asked you guys, when is a transaction made? It's the value of the product being sold needs to exceed the value of what is being bought. So for example, this iPhone is probably worth $1,000, right? And
but if you know it's gonna make you $15,000.
Yeah, I know it's gonna probably a lot more than that.
But I'm just saying,
right.
If you just increasing the camera, you're like, okay, I can definitely make some more money on Instagram if I don't need to have a photographer and I can take more photos.
Right, exactly. So let's say I know that, right? And let's say Jeff is trying to sell me this iPhone. To me, this thing is worth hundreds, thousands of dollars, millions of dollars to me, right? And ability to have this. let's say to Jeff, he doesn't care about this. He's not a social media guy. He's nothing. He just sells iPhones. He just wants to get rid of the iPhone. The iPhone for him, he's trying to sell it to me for $1,000, right? If he gets $1,000, he's happy because to him, this sitting inside his inventory is completely worthless to him. It doesn't matter. But to me, this being inside of my, my possession, being able to use it, is worth millions of dollars. So there's a transaction opportunity right there because my $1,000 is more valuable to him than this phone. But this phone is more valuable to me than giving him $1,000. So that's where a transaction is made, right? So, but the reason why this phone is only more valuable than $1,000 to me is because I see what I can do with it, and I know that, or let's say that most iPhones like this are $10,000, right? So go back to Jeff talking about this jewelry deal. That chain was $3,000 cheaper. I know that this phone usually goes for, let's say, $10,000. So $1,000 for me is a steal. So I'm willing to make that transaction. So when you're promoting inclusivity, you're changing the perception of your customer, of how they think about the product for them to be able to buy it. So one of the things too.
So let me go. So Zane says create urgency. Now we go back to the first thing that I talked about, which was honesty. I'm not telling you guys to put a false number of the amount of products you have on your stores. I'm not telling you to say, hey, this deal is only going to be here once, so I'm going to give you a discount, blah, blah, blah. And then in reality, they could get that deal at any day of the time. That's not how you sell, all right? So when you say, okay, well, my product's not selling that well, I want to create some urgency, you need to figure out a price where you're comfortable only selling that amount, and you're not doing it dishonestly. Dude, humans are very intuitive monster creatures. Like, we understand things that aren't said, right? So when someone goes to your store and they see only 4 were left in stock, and your marketing wasn't designed around the fact that you had limited stock, they know it's bullshit because you're lying. They see through it. That's what you have to understand. You can't lie in this business. You got to be real. If you lie, you make a couple sales. But I want you guys to remember something right now. Everyone on this call, just literally remember this saying, because I've watched it come true time and time and time and time again, is what goes up fast comes down just as fast. So you might figure out some little schemy loophole to make a little bit of money. You might, scam somebody, or you guys might do something. I'm not saying you guys are doing that, but I'm saying I've seen people do this, or I've seen people who legitimately built let's say a network marketing organization, went to $60,000 a month residual, and then overnight the company shuts down. Because what goes up fast comes down even faster. That's like the laws of the universe. And so when it comes to income and when it comes to you guys changing your life, it's the exact same application. So you guys, if you guys really want to be a millionaire tomorrow, I guarantee you'd be broke the next day. Like, that's the reality. So don't want that. Don't want to be super successful right now because it's going to end faster than it came. That's always the truth. So when you guys do these marketing things, it's better to play the long-term play and be honest. And I'm not saying you guys have to be, the most honest people. You can over-exaggerate a little bit and people don't care, right? They don't care. But it's just funny because really it comes down to, if you want something that's going to be a real success, it's going to come down to you being honest with it and building it up from ground zero. So I'm going to let you finish this call.
Yeah, so some of the other things when it comes to promoting exclusivity is also how you compare your brand or compare your product to other things. So my buddy Thaddeus, he had a Shopify store in the past, and he was selling shades, right? He was selling sunglasses, and it's super funny how he did this. He was selling sunglasses. So this is, again, your customer's perceived value will dictate how much you can sell your product for. So I'll be honest with you. I think the value of the inner circle, that we can sell something like this for, this is pretty much a mastermind. This is a virtual mastermind. I personally think this is worth $1,000 minimum a month. $1,000 a month. And if you guys are in here, and especially for those of you guys that made money, if you have made money, actually comment right now and say how much money you've made since being in the inner circle because of the inner circle. If you have made money, comment right now. Because I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you made money in here, $1,000, $2,000, $500, $300, the inner circle is immediately worth at least that a month. At least. Right? So this guy says 1K profit. Right? So if you made money, comment right now. Let me know. Because if you have made money, right away, it's worth more than what you paid for. Right? So 3K, $2,500, $400 in 2 weeks. Right? $200. So immediately it's already worth that. So if we had to go back in time, who here... So after you guys comment how much you made, 1K, cool. So who here had to hear about the inner circle multiple times before pulling the trigger? So if you didn't get started the first day you heard about it, comment right now. Let's say you saw it and you're like, whatever, and then you saw it again, you're like, and you saw it again, and then you got started. If that was you, or you got started the second time, like you didn't pull the trigger the second you first heard about it, comment right now and say, yeah, it took me a few times to see it. Just say it took me a few times. So, okay, yes, most people did not get started the first second they got in, right? Okay, 3 times, awesome. So, check this out. A lot of you guys made a lot of money, right? But also a lot of you guys didn't get started right away. But if I asked you, like knowing the information you know right now, if I told you, like, hey, you should join the inner circle, it's $300 a month, you would still buy it if you knew what you knew right now, right? But at the time, like Jeff was saying, you didn't know that, right? But what you know right now and how much you made right now, you would buy the inner circle again at a higher price point, right?
So everyone commenting right now, it's interesting for you guys to see the difference in marketing and what it takes to make sales. And it's really cool. We can show you guys in a way that all of you guys are like, yo, the guys teaching me are the guys that sold me. So you know it fucking works, right? You guys know what we're teaching right now fucking works. Like you guys have like 100 people in here and everyone was like, oh, it took me a few times, or, I saw it the first time and I saw the value. So it goes back to a few things. And number one is, and let's recap and finish this call. I think we went over some good stuff. I actually think analyzing this was the coolest thing we did right now. Is you guys to see this firsthand is, some people were sold on the honesty and the truth and the value behind the thing. They saw the value in it. Others, they were sold by the exclusivity. And some people are just like that. Some programs, for example, some of you guys that are in here right now, right? Some of you guys that are in here right now saw the exclusivity, but you were not that sold on us yet. Right? And that's why you didn't pull the trigger on the first time you saw it. But then when you saw like spots were capped and you saw that, we're only letting a certain amount of people in, it made you pull the trigger even though you didn't fully believe in us yet. Some of you guys are like that. And if that's the case, I hope and I guarantee this program has changed that perception of you. And now you guys are lifelong customers for us. Yeah. Can you handle that, Pablo? And it's good for you guys to see this. It's good for you guys to know this. And when you guys realize all these sales techniques and you guys realize that these all can apply to every business, it's not specifically about selling a program, but it's about selling products. And some people aren't going to pull the trigger right away off your story and off your honesty. Some people are going to pull the trigger off the fact that your product is not for everyone and it's not going to go to everyone, because if someone can buy it any time, they're probably not going to buy. The thing is some programs, some people bought value driven. So when they purchased the first time, it wasn't even about Josh and I. It was the fact that they know this program was worth more than $100 a month. They said, hey, this is my chance to change my life. Let me pull the trigger. That's the iPhone mentality, right?
Right.
And then eventually it becomes the problem solving mentality. So when everyone buys it at pre-launch, they say, dude, I need that. I need the new battery. Some people just buy because they want new.
Right.
All of your
novelty. Novelty is another thing. Is a lot of people. So novelty, Novelty. A lot of people, what Jeff just talked about, want just the newest thing. They just want to be, what is it? Keeping up with the Johnsons or keeping up with the neighbors, whatever it is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a phrase. I think it's like keeping up with the neighbor next door. What is it? Joneses. Keeping up with the Joneses. So what that means is like, the neighbor across the street gets a Corvette, so I'm gonna get a Ferrari. The neighbor next across the street gets a new dirt bike, so I'm gonna go buy the top of the line dirt bike and the top of the line motorcycle. So a lot of people like that novelty factor, just having the best and the newest thing possible too.
And Vision, I don't know really what you're asking, bro. Like when it comes to affiliate marketing, all of these things mold into one. Affiliate marketing is not an industry that I could just say, hey, dude, this is exactly what you're gonna do to be successful. Affiliate marketing is sales. Right? Everything we just talked about is exactly how you can sell. So if you want to sell someone else's program, you got to put your own spin on it. Also, you got to be honest. You got to be trustworthy. You got to build a brand. All of those things apply. You also have to show them the value that they could, not just the value, not say, hey, I'm giving you $5,000 product for $1,000, bro. That doesn't work. What does work is if you help them envision the fact that this $2,000 dropshipping program could be the answer of all their financial stresses. As long as you're honest, because the thing is like we could have sold you guys on the inner circle and you guys could have got butthole. Like you guys could have got nothing. Nothing. You guys could have got live calls where I'm like sitting here just talking to you guys. And that's what it is. But when I go over stuff like this, you guys get to see firsthand an entrepreneur that's like literally like teaching you exactly how he sold you, and that never happens.
Right.
So, when it comes to affiliate marketing and you guys selling things, this all applies. The last sales technique applies. All of these calls are going to eventually mold into one where you guys have watched 20 hours of sales training over the next 3-4 months, and you guys are much better at sales. You guys understand what sales are about. Sales are not about you selling someone something they don't need. It's about you having a product that they need and you doing the right marketing and the right sales strategies to push them into buying it. So yeah, like affiliate marketing there's no reason to do a specific call on it. Okay, so let's jump into let's finish the sales stuff. I think we did enough. I want to give you guys some updates on the inner circle, like we always do. Let me see how many people are live still.
I think like 87 or something.
All right, 83. Okay, so let me give you guys some updates real quick. For those of you that still don't have a business that's making them any money that they want to go 100% in, can you say me? Just be honest. If you guys don't have a business that you're 100% confident in, you're like, I don't really know what the hell I want to do. I'm still looking at all these business models. I'm trying Amazon. I'm trying eBay, but I don't have one thing I want to go into yet. Let me know. This is not a Shopify call, so. Okay, there's a good amount of you guys. So I'm going to add a segment onto the Dropout Degree Inner Circle, right? I've been thinking about it for a minute. And a lot of people talk about how to make money with e-commerce or, real estate. And they're the very talked about things on the internet. And I think one thing that a lot of people miss is the fact that you actually don't need to do those for that to be their first income-making business. And you can be that income-making business. So we're going to release a segment on a way to start a business with no money, no experience really, besides a couple things. And what I'm talking about is it's not going to be e-commerce. It's not going to be real estate. It's not going to be anything. It's going to be you plugging into a system that needs people like you. So one thing that follows into that, and this is a no money up front, no skill business models. And what we're going to go over in these business models is things just like social media marketing agencies, just like something that nobody even talks about, being an online Instagram, YouTube, Facebook travel agent. I mean, still, people don't know where the fuck the best deals are. People don't know how to get good deals. They don't know how to plan a trip, especially with Instagram blowing up. You guys could be growing a personal brand just to sell travel. Like, it's crazy that people don't see this. And so when you see that all these businesses around you locally, we're going to do a social media segment, and I guarantee it's better than Ty's. So for all of you that are doing social media marketing, we're gonna take over that. I'm not going to sell a course on it, but it'll be in here. And it's things like that where you guys can take and plug into things, into systems that are already working. So you guys could do social media marketing for companies in your area and have no skill and outsource everything. For example, you guys could be a travel agent and outsource everything, right? You could literally be a travel agent and just plan people's trips and take a commission off the top. You say, hey, this entire trip's gonna be $3,000. You get their flight for $400. You get their place to stay for $1,000. You handle some activities for $400, and you walk away with $800. That type of business model can get you guys making, $2 to $10,000 a month. And it's not something where you're like, oh, I got to find successful products or anything. You guys just have to find the customers, really. Right. And that's all it is. So as soon as I want to get that started soon. I need to figure out all the businesses I want to put into that. So how the inner circle is going to be scheduled is there going to be about 3 or 4 sections. So, every week we're changing the guidelines and what we want to do with this program because we want to give the most value to you. So the first section is going to be the skills base, the skills we think you need to know to build a business. And sales is one of them. Right? And, networking is one of them. And, managing employees and hiring the correct people and partners, all of these skills go into running a successful business. The second thing is businesses you can start. For example, like e-commerce, drop shipping, Amazon drop shipping, Shopify drop shipping, Amazon FBA, real estate wholesaling, real estate investing, all these different businesses you guys can get into. And that will extend to like 10 or 15 businesses before I cap it because I don't want too much on everyone's plate. These are just the businesses I think are the best thing. Third section will be, no cost businesses, nothing besides you connecting dots. I think the best way to do this is connect the dot businesses, right? Where you're connecting the dots from people. You go on Fiverr, you meet some dude that's a Facebook ad guy, and you go up to the local place and you say, hey, I'm starting this. I only want a couple $100 a month. Let me help you run your Facebook ads. Travel agent, those type of things where you guys can just connect the dots for people and build personal brands or invest or do whatever it is. I think those are some powerful things. So, the fourth part was...
What about business fundamentals and credit and stuff like that?
like a business toolkit, you think?
Yeah.
So then the business toolkit, which my credit training will fall under, and some other things like that. And then the final part, and the fifth and final part of the inner circle will be the events. So right now we plan to release and open the tickets for the Miami event for you guys. We're going to have 150 seats. We were going to allow for the LA event. We wanted 75 people. We ended up with 80.
Right.
So the Miami event with the new influx of members, the 2 month ahead of time heads up is going to be 150 people in Miami. We don't know what we're going to do on the Saturday. The Sunday. So it's going to be Saturday. Amazing lineup of speakers that we're locking in right now. Like an amazing lineup. Don't put the link. Nick hasn't even done it.
No.
Oh, okay. And the issue is I was going to open up the tickets and we can't. So I'm not going to go too much into that.
Perfect example of shit happens and you just gotta roll.
Yeah, some stuff happens and you just can't do it. So everyone on here, if you guys plan to come to the Miami event, you guys saw how many people loved the. If you're at the LA event, let me know what you guys thought, because it was amazing. If you're at the LA event, let everyone know what's up. So for the Miami event, we're gonna release the link tomorrow. 150 spots only. It's up to you guys. I don't want to. For those of you that can't make it, I think the Vegas event's after that, and I'm gonna go for 300 people at that event, and then I think to finish the year it'll be New York, or no.
Vegas.
We're gonna space them out as we
Yeah, so like no. So the end of the year will be Vegas, or like the beginning of the year.
next year. So
Yeah, the beginning of the year will be Vegas after this Miami event, and then after that will be New York, probably like March, June, somewhere in there. And that event, I would not for sure on the cities, but that event I'm gonna go for like 500 people at that event, and that event will be the event where we try to get some of the big speakers, like
Right.
some of the big dogs. And that'll be really, really cool. So, yeah, that's the plan. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's call. I hope you guys got some insight on sales. Thanks to Josh for putting this one together.
Yeah. We'll probably do another call, maybe like a part 2, because I think there's a ton of other sales things, psychology things, and biases that we can help you guys learn to improve your business within the next week. Confirmed date will be out soon. It could be maybe Sunday night. I'm not sure, but we'll give you guys that date ASAP.
Well,
It'll be
so
part
again,
2.
so when it comes to that skills section, when it says sales skills, you guys are gonna have like 10 different live calls on sales.
Right.
So you guys gotta understand, there's gonna be more sales stuff. There's gonna be more networking stuff. There's gonna be more everything when it comes to skills. So each section, for example, if you go to the Amazon section, this is the goal. The Amazon section will have 5 or 6 Amazon videos, whether it's FBA, whether it's drop shipping, or whether it's advanced drop shipping, whatever it is. I do want you guys to understand though, and this is just us being upfront, right? Is the fact that when Tommy came on and he did that, we convinced him to do the workshop, and it was like 90% his following. And I offered it to you guys. It wasn't to sell you. What it was to do was to give you an opportunity to get really, really in-depth training from him, because off that workshop, he'll walk away with like 60 to 70, 80 grand or whatever. And that allows him to really, really, really dive in with his time and energy into you guys. So it's not so much about you guys being sold or anything. When we offer you guys these abilities to jump on, let's say someone comes on and kills an FBA thing, and then they decide to launch some FBA training, you have to understand their time is valuable. So if they're going to teach this stuff to if they were to teach it to one person, they'd charge the exact amount as the group.
Right.
So if you guys do want to master these businesses and you guys want to learn and do these other things, whether it's the ATM business or whatever, you guys will be able to get a discount from the Inner Circle. But it's not mandatory. You guys will be able to run these businesses with the information from the Inner Circle. But if you really want in-depth stuff, sometimes there might be a workshop or something that goes down.
Right.
And that's just us being transparent and letting you guys know that if you've been trying to, you love the Amazon call and you want to go full in on Amazon, invest in your Amazon business. Invest in the training, invest in the franchise, invest in the blueprint to see that success from someone that's seen it. I can bring Tommy on for 2 hours, but he can't teach hundreds and hundreds of hours of experience in 2 hours. It's just not possible.
Right.
So, again, everyone, I hope you guys have a great night. We're closing up. Appreciate you guys. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the call.
If you guys got value, me and Jeff would like to see, go to our Instagrams. Obviously, you guys know it at JetSet Fly and at Bunt. Comment on our last photo and just, comment one nugget that you picked up.
What they should do is they should just comment on the dropout degree thing so all the other students can see the comments.
Yeah, that's fine too.
I would just comment on the dropout degree page and comment if you guys like the live call today. And that way all the other students that miss these calls can see those comments and be like, damn, I need to be on the next one.
Right, right. So yeah, with that said, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Hope you guys got a lot of value. This is literally like we talked about maybe 3 or 4 different, psychological triggers out of like 20 plus that we know and that we use. So expect to see a ton more, and try to implement these things while networking with people into your store, into your business. It's gonna take a while to really master it, but do.
Peace out, guys.
All right, later. So start going out, and looking at other businesses, looking at other stores, looking at other companies, looking at people you talk to, public figures, influential people. See how they're using it, because some of these people might be using it on you. So start catching that, right? And again, write in your notes today on how you're gonna actually apply these to your business today. And I would love to see you guys too inside the Telegram group chat, or actually make a post on a Facebook page, and say, hey, this is what I'm gonna do to implement this into my business. I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna, change my brand image. I'm gonna start relating to people. Start implementing it. And tell us how you're gonna implement it. Don't just say I'm gonna put it on my Amazon store. I'm gonna put it in my About Me page. Actually show me and give us some examples of what you're gonna do. And that way you guys can actually get value out of it, and other people that are inside the inner circle can see and get ideas and inspiration on what they can do. With that said, that's gonna be it. Next call, hopefully we'll have that Miami event. Tickets sorted out. So make sure you guys saving up. I think tickets are gonna be like $150 for the Miami event. So we'll have the details for that in the next event or the next live call. Make sure you guys are inside the Messenger bot, the Telegram, the Facebook page, all of that. Make sure you guys are getting detail.
Oh, this isn't for this.
What are you doing?
This is for me.
Oh.
I'm not part of this.
Oh, okay, cool, no worries. Oh yeah. So with that said, guys, we're out. See you guys.